All right, guys, I just wanted to do a quick little reminder of how we can analyze a new poem to look at the structure and how the author of the poem uses some of those elements of poetry to make their poems unique. Because as we've seen, not all poems are the exact same, and they don't all have the exact same features. So I just wanted to look back at the Apple poem that we read yesterday. And when I'm looking at this poem again, I'm noticing that the structure of the poem is it doesn't have any stanzas. This isn't a poem that's organized in 4 lines and then space and then another 4 lines. This stanza or this poem is written in what we would consider to be free verse. Just like the poem that we read about street music, the author chooses to use a way of spacing and creating the lines to be in a certain shape or to show a certain feeling or emotion, or even just a different item. We all know that Jack also yesterday chose to give it a shot and write a poem that was shaped like a dog. So the structure of those types of poems is called free verse. We also see a lot of repetition. Sorry, guys, I had to think about how to spell that. Repetition is when we repeat the same word over and over and over again. Different authors use it for different effects. I think that this author chose to just use words that remind them of an apple. I don't know. I've never spoken to the author directly, but that's my guess. So I see this type of structure the poem has, which is free verse. I see that the repetition is used over and over again. I don't see rhyming words. So if you're someone that automatically thought that the poem would be rhyming, this shows us that not all poems have that. The last thing that I want to point out that I see is I see things like yum yum and delicious yum. I also see crunchy crunchy and juicy juicy. All of those words help me to see and imagine and even hear what it would be like if I were eating an apple. So it's safe to say that the author of this poem uses a lot of imagery. The sounds that help me hear are things like crunchy, crunchy. The sounds that help me taste is when it says yum, yum over and over again. And even kind of the way that it could feel when eating an apple, because it talks about it being juicy. I can kind of imagine what it feels like from eating a juicy apple based on those words. Just wanted to remind you of some of the things that you will be looking for today in your poem, Love That Boy.